Hello and welcome back to the Herbal Entrepreneur Conference. I am Yolanda Joy, and today I'm here with Marlene Adelmann, who is the director of the Herbal Academy. She was a speaker at last year's conference and shared some incredible tips about running an herbal school and her journey as the director of the Herbal Academy and how that school has grown from a small in-person group to really one of the most reputable online schools for herbalists to get an education, with tens of thousands of students all around the world. So, Marlene, today we're going to talk a little bit about the right mindset to have as an herbal entrepreneur and really set your business up for success. But before we get into that, I think it would be great if you could give it a bit of an overview of who you are and what the Herbal Academy does. So yeah, over to you.
Hi, Yolanda. Yeah, it's good to be back, and I'm so happy to see all the progress that you've made with these conferences. So congratulations to you. So the Herbal Academy is an online school, and we teach the practice of herbalism. We offer courses from an introductory level to an advanced level, and our introductory program helps students build that foundation for furthering their education. And the advanced programs are really geared towards students who are interested in a clinical path. And we have a lot in between the introductory course and the advanced course. Over the last couple of years, we've expanded our learning platforms to include intensives and mini courses. So there's a variety of courses that students can take. And I want to tell you that the Herbal Academy is much more than a computer program that you log into and it kind of feels like no one's home and the lights are off sort of experience, because we are actually a thriving community of herbalists and students from all over the world. And the teachers at Herbal Academy are very much there for their students. So we communicate with our students on a dedicated private platform. So the way it works is once you sign up for a class, you are then invited to join. And there are great conversations that take place there. People post recipes and things that they're sharing or learning or researching, and students ask questions, and teachers will go in and answer questions. And it really is a great place for all of us to get together. And you can imagine, with over 60,000 students walking through our virtual classrooms, we have had some pretty interesting talks over the years. And students bring their own unique life experiences to this platform. And so it's very much a learning exchange for both student and teacher. Herbal Academy also offers a membership site, and that's for students who are looking for more learning. And it's sort of a virtual resource center where students can take advantage of articles and a monograph series that continues to grow. And there are mini courses and intensives. And so that's a really cool place for students to come to. So that tells you a little bit about Herbal Academy. But before I go any further, I'd really like to sort of address the elephant in the room, and that is acknowledging COVID-19 and, the devastating impact that it's had on small business and really jobs in all sectors, and of course the world economy. And, this isn't something that we ever thought we'd go through or experience, so there was really no way to prepare for this. And my heart goes out to everyone that's struggling right now. And, I thought about this conference because we had signed on to work on this conference with you quite a while ago. And as it was coming up, I was thinking, oh my goodness, how do we do this entrepreneurial conference now in light of everything that's happened in the last few weeks? And, go on and talk about how successful we think we are and how we did this and all that, when there are so many people that are devastated right now. They've lost their businesses, or they just, had something really great going on, and then, it just kind of all fell away. And so I struggled with that, and what I really came to believe is that we're here because maybe there's something we can offer. Maybe there's just a word of wisdom or some inspiration that people can hang on to continue and to keep moving or to start something. So, we're just talking, but I don't expect that I have any answers for anyone under these new circumstances. It feels shocking to all of us. And so I can only talk about how we have succeeded from a much different playbook. And, maybe there's some insight in there, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Absolutely. This situation with COVID-19 is really something that none of us could have ever really expected. And it's changed the rules of the game, so to speak, for everyone who's in playing. And that's really difficult to come to terms with. But yeah, like that's the same. Our hope with this conference is to really give hope to people and be able to continue sharing these stories, like those grains of hope that you have in your story. Because one of the things that actually does really stick out to me about your story as an herbalist, and especially the growth of the Herbal Academy over the past decade, is the persistence and how you kind of keep on sticking at it and moving forward, even when the times do get tough, like what they are now for a lot of people. So I was wondering if you have some things to share around that, how to kind of maintain that positive mindset even when the times are tough.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy question for me because I can share with you that this work checks off all the boxes for me. And that's not to say that being the owner and director of Herbal Academy is easy or even delightful every single day, because it really isn't. There are days when the going gets pretty tough. We have deadlines and budgets, commitments and obligations, and loads of people that need or want something. And also, I have a whole lot of herbalists and creatives, writers and artists and videographers, and a whole big group of people that make up the team. And I need to be ever mindful of their various needs. And I want to support them and honor them and appreciate their work as we, work together as a team to offer these programs. So aside from delegating and directing, I feel like I have to be keenly aware of sensitivities and individual needs of team members. But as I said, this work checks off all the boxes for me. First of all, it's my passion, and the fact that I can call it my work or my career is a dream. It's rewarding on so many levels, and I feel lucky. I feel really lucky just to be doing this work. And so as a team, as the Herbal Academy team, we communicate every day, and we work on this online platform, and that's where we can check in. And we get together in the morning. We have our local team, local to New England, and then we have our remote team from different parts of the country, and we all come together and we check in, and we're saying good morning and hello, and we're going to talk about what's going on for the day for us, and what we're hoping to accomplish or what's down the road. And it's just a real chatty place for us, and it just kind of helps us all stay on the same page as far as our goals and what's expected. And there are some mornings that I get in this platform, and I just feel so lucky to be there that I'm gushing all over the place. And but I do know that others feel the same way. And I'm proud of the fact that together we're reaching and teaching thousands of students, some in remote areas of the world, who would not otherwise have this opportunity to learn about herbs and all the amazing benefits they provide. And, we know and understand herbalism as a beautiful culture of living in union with nature and as human beings living with each other. And that's a wonderful commentary for today's climate, where differences may be judged or devalued. And herbalism, I believe, is the great equalizer, helping us, to realize the power and the magnitude of it all, and what a significant part we all play in nature. The caring and preservation of nature really is our responsibility. We are the takers of all that it offers us, from food to shelter and, everything in between. Herbalism is a practice of using herbs for health and well-being, and it's as old as history. But I believe that we have found nuanced ways of embracing and teaching it. And herbalism, it doesn't belong in dusty corners of an apothecary, but in every modern home. This art belongs to all, and it can be practiced successfully by everyone. So we should learn this and use it.
Oh, I 100% agree on everything that you shared there. There is, like, we are on such an important mission as herbalists in following our paths and, yeah, making it accessible to the world, because herbalism is really so connected to the world and our own well-being, and it's not a part. It shouldn't be the other. It's really that ingrained thread. And I think that's really important work that the Herbal Academy does as well, is making that herbal education accessible to people, like in rural areas that you mentioned earlier. Like, because I know I've experienced that firsthand in that I live in Italy, and while I do speak Italian, I would prefer to study in English. And so the Herbal Academy was really where I started my base herbal education, and I continue to study there, just because it is so accessible and it's like able to reach people wherever they are in the world. So that's I can see why that mission keeps that positive mindset for you, because you kind of keep that front and center of your mind, and then even when it is difficult, you know your purpose of why you're doing it, and so you move forward. So that's a really beautiful thing, I think. The next question that I had for you was about decision making as a herbal business owner, because I know this is something that a lot of herbalists struggle with, myself included, in terms of kind of considering all of the different options and making the right decision, but also moving forward with confidence that you've made the right decision and sticking with it. Just being confident in the decisions that you've made. So do you have any advice around making good decisions as the owner of quite a large herbal business? And what would that be?
Oh, yeah, I hear you on this one. One bad decision can really mess things up. And, as they say, decisions define destiny. Now that I am, a certain age, I have a pretty good rear view mirror, so to speak. And that's attached there on my brain, and it provides some clear perspective. And I can see mistakes or bad decisions that I've made and actually see the results of those mistakes. It's like having a road map with illustrations of forks in the road leading to all these different paths. And there I am, this little old body moving along. And sometimes I'm in the right direction, and sometimes I'm not. And unfortunately, I am talking about a rear view mirror here. So, there's no way of not making those mistakes. They've already been made. But that's another really good lesson to learn in business, or small business startup, is move on, forgive and move on. Small business is all about moving forward. Decision making, I think I'm a really intuitive person, and so I pay attention to what I sense about a situation, and that serves me pretty well, I have to say. I mean, I don't want to sound all, woo-woo and out there, but really, I do feel like I get a good sense about something, and then if I go with that, I'm usually right. So I have to say I do use that as one of my tools, but I'm also a feeler, and I feel everything. Like, I feel everything a little bit too much. I go through life experience, I think, a little more harder than I need to. So that's something I need to learn to tone down a bit. But making a good decision, an important decision, requires the use of all your critical thinking skills and, practicality, reason, experience, life experiences, knowledge, confidence, and courage. But I have to say, that's all very important. But some of the best decisions I've come to have happened because I've listened to other people. Discussing ideas and issues with other people brings to light new ideas and perspectives that you may not have thought of on your own.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Like, just getting those opinions from other people and discussing it can really help to work through like issues that you are having, and to make the right decision. Like you come together and brainstorm and you come up with solutions that you might not have thought of on your own. And I think that's a really important part of it. And then also like bring back into it that rear vision mirror thing that you're talking about at the beginning, that experience of someone who is more experienced. That's kind of the value as well of having that discussion, because you pull together all of those experiences from the different people who are part of that discussion, and you bring together that experience to multiply your experiences, like all of those experiences together, and ultimately come out with like better decisions and be able to be more confident going through with that decision as well. And then, like you said, we are going to make mistakes, we are going to make bad decisions, but the important part is to like kind of keep note of that so that you can use that as part of your decision-making process in the future as well. So that's all part of it, really. It's a journey, up and downs, and continuing to move forward as we go through it. So the next topic that I wanted to cover as far as this like really mindset goes is confidence. How we can kind of actually act with confidence and move forward. So like, I know that a lot of us struggle with this in terms of like, are we good enough? Do we have enough education? Do we know enough? Do we have enough experience? Like, is what we're doing enough? Like just all of these things in terms of like that confidence and being secure in your skills. So like, do you have any tips or advice around being confident and acting with confidence as an herbal business owner?
Yeah, I love this question because I think we all have doubts about qualifications, education, experience, skills, talents, our abilities to achieve something that we set out to do. I mean, I think it's a huge deal to start any business, and to actually succeed at what you're doing is like an enormous feat. But most entrepreneurs will agree with me here. I sort of look at business like a wild animal that needs lots of training and nourishment and a tender, loving care. Wild animals like business startups have no built-in correctional system, no training. So you as the owner have to mold that behavior and help build that character and help set in that self-correction response, So, and that's important. Staying in your lane, as we've all heard. I mean, we hear that a lot, but I think it's right. I think for no other reason, it helps you to stay focused. Know what you do best and use it. And as you can probably tell by this interview that I'm not staying in my lane. I mean, I'm actually doing this interview, and it's not my greatest talent, but I'm going to give it a really good shot. And that's another lesson. Sometimes you come upon things that, you're going to need to do them. And you're just going to have to kind of, not be so good at it. But anyway, you don't have to be everything to everyone. You just have to be you, and that's always enough.
I love that you mentioned that you feel like you're out of your lane doing this interview. Like, firstly, I really, really appreciate that you are doing this interview, but from an outsider's perspective, it doesn't look like you're outside of your lane. It doesn't sound like it to me. It's you're offering this advice, and like your experience, you're sharing that with people. I think that's such an important gift to give to people, and that's why it is sometimes important to step out of that comfort zone and really step up, because what you can offer outside of that is important as well. I mean, there's obviously both sides of the equation. You do need to like focus on what you're good at, but this is something that only you can offer, this interview. So it's really precious that you are able to be part of this. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for stepping out of your lane. The next thing I really did want to touch on, as far as the mindset and growing an herbal business, is growing a team. So like, I think this is kind of inevitable as a business grows, to need to start to delegate things. And that's part of that stepping out of your lane. You work out what you're good at and what you're not as good at. delegating that takes that load off of you so that you can focus on what you are good at, what only you can do, and other people can step up to fill those roles that are not your zone of genius. So I would imagine with the many working pieces of behind the scenes at the Herbal Academy, there are many people doing different things, and there's like a beehive of activity going on. But I'm really interested to know how you kind of oversee that as the director of the Herbal Academy. Like, how do you check what's going on and keep everyone accountable and motivated, and keep that team running as well as it possibly can?
Yeah, we really have accomplished so much, but we're always looking to the next thing and excited about how much more we can do. And as you know, herbalism is this huge, vast, wide open field, and the possibilities for sharing information and growing are endless. We have so many ideas, and I really don't have to drag anyone along. Our team is motivated and inspired, and I think we're made of pretty strong stuff. We really do care about what we're creating and what we're offering, and so we think it's important. We think it's important information for virtually everyone. So learning how to use plants that grow on this earth in a meaningful way for health and well-being is rewarding, and the experience is enchanting. I don't know anything that quite compares to this journey. It's such a life-enhancing experience. But work is work, and it's not always glamorous. I mean, we're going to have seasons that are harder than others, and unfortunately, that's true today. But one way that I found that works to keep our team motivated is to mix some of the creative work with things that we have to do on a day-to-day basis that can get kind of mundane. I mean, we promised certain events or material to something that's coming up, and the clock is ticking, and the pages of the calendar are flipping, and we're still working on this, and so we're feeling the pressure. But if we can just tune into some of those creative things that we do, and share those that relief or that creative release to everyone, then I think it just kind of helps us get through some of the things that are a little drier, I think. But so that's finding balance with work and creative projects, and encouraging our team, giving credit where credit is due. And I know that's an old saying, and I think it's important. I think it's really important. So old sayings are there for a reason. It's an important one. Give credit where credit is due, and project positivity even when it's hard to do. For the team, you gotta bring it together and project positivity. And in the end, seeing your final work is the ultimate motivator and reward. For instance, last year, our team worked pretty tirelessly on releasing our first published book, the Botanical Skincare Recipe Book. And we all gave this project so much of our time and energy. And when we saw the book finally published, and then it went on Amazon, and it's on its way to third-party retailers, and everybody that worked on the book became a published author. That was a pretty wonderful feeling, and I think we realized that all that hard work came to something that was pretty special to us.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point. Like, in the end, the reason we do this is for the results, what we can offer, how we can help people. And that's like your published book of the botanical recipes is the perfect example of that. Like, it's something that really did take a lot of time and effort to put all of the pieces in place and get it published and like on Amazon so that it can be distributed all around the world. But the end result of that, like actually seeing that physical book in people's hands all around the world. Like, I have a copy of that book as well, and I actually really love it because it's got just, you can just flick through it and go to any recipe and make it. It's especially because of the botanical skincare course, I'm part of that as well. And that has just many good recipes in it. And I was continuously going back to the PDF to search for the recipes, but that book is so much easier to reference how to make stuff quickly. And so I can just really understand how that result really does motivate your team. And something that's really beautiful about that is that the way that you said everyone who worked on that book is a published author. And so it's not like that book is attributed to one person, but it's really a team effort. And that acknowledgement is probably why you find it so easy to motivate your team, because you include the team in the process, but also in the acknowledgement of results. And I think that is really, really important to make the team feel included as a part of that process, and so that they can continue to grow with the business. Yeah. So to wrap up the interview today a little, I would love it if you could share your top pieces of advice or tips for herbal business owners to stay on top of their mental game and really master that entrepreneurial mindset. So yeah, let me know what you think is the most important parts when it comes to that.
So 3 tips for herbal business owner to stay on top of their mental game. Yeah. So I think you need to be realistic about your goals and start small. That gives you a wide field to advance into. There's no need to think you have to hit the finish line from start to finish. Boom, done. I think that robs you of so many pleasures along the way, because you hope to be here for a long time, and it's endurance that you're looking for. It isn't a race at all. It's a journey across a wide field that requires your attention to details. And if you run too fast and you knock over too many things, it diminishes your ability to pick up on nuances and what people are asking for and how things are changing from time to time. And an herbal business, or any other business for that matter, is really, it's business, and it's not pretty. I don't think you can come into this thinking that it's going to be easy. Instead, it's better to gear up for the idea that it's going to be tough and challenging. And when you meet those challenges, celebrate. Give yourself a pat on the back. You'll need to feel those successes along the way to stay motivated. And I don't think there's anything, there is nothing on this planet that's going to show you who you are other than starting a small business. Believe me, it will define who you are. You can throw away all those magazine quizzes and tests that suggest that they can help you figure out who you are. You don't need a fortune teller, you don't need cards, a crystal ball, or tea leaves, because running a business is going to define and amplify and magnify every characteristic you own, the good ones and the bad ones. And if you're lucky, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself most of the time. And, if you're not so lucky, well, then you're going to have a lot of character flaws to work on, and that's okay. And I'm here to tell you that I fall into the latter category, which keeps me very busy. So, running a business has shown me that I'm a student. I'm a student in business and herbalism, and a green one at that. I learn something new on a daily basis on both fronts. So stay humble and open to learning. You may not know as much as you think you do, and that's okay. Just allow yourself the time to grow. And authenticity, again, that's kind of a buzzword, but quite honestly, just be true to you. And finally, know that you cannot do it all and bring in support. Expertise is needed. It's okay for you not to be an expert at everything. Know your strengths and find help to support those areas where you're not quite so strong. It's a team effort.
Yeah, it really is a team effort. And especially when you are reaching that level as an herbal business owner, that you do have the capacity to have team members and reach more people and ultimately have a bigger impact, that just becomes so much more important. And I love what you said earlier as well about the being clear on your goals and where you want to go, and just continuously reflecting on that and adjusting your path to learn as we go, because that's really it. Both as herbalists and business owners, we need to hone those skills and continue to improve. No matter how much experience we get, we can still continue to learn more and improve the way that we practice as herbalists and run our businesses. So, yeah, I really, really would just like to thank you so much for everything you've shared today. I think it's been really valuable, and I hope that it really does help people to start to work on the way that they are thinking and approaching the way that they act on their business as an herbalist. And yeah, I just think that it's really valuable what you've shared. So thank you so much.
Yolanda, thank you so much for allowing us this time to be here with you for the Entrepreneurial Herbal Conference. Both Heather and I are thrilled to be here presenting for the Herbal Academy. And in closing, I just want to say to all of those that are tuning in that we are going to get through this. There is post-COVID-19, and there will be opportunities, no matter how ill-gotten. There will be new and creative ways to run our businesses. So hold out for that and stay strong. And remember that we're here with you, and we wish you all the luck in the world. Thanks for listening, and really good luck, everybody.